So please welcome Nobuho Nagasawa. I have a few words for her. So, Professor Nobuho Nagasawa is a transdisciplinary artist whose site-responsive works explore the politics, ecology, and psychological dimensions of place and people. Her recent works are shaped by intersections of art, science, technology, including acoustic ecology, phenomenology, and synesthesia, a neurobiological condition where the experiences of senses combine. Nagasawa has completed 40 public art pieces under successful interdisciplinary collaborations, and she has received the highest honor, Excellence in Design Award, in California and New York. I'd love to welcome Nobuho Nagasawa up on the podium. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Michael, and thank you for guests and my students and BME students. They've been working so hard for this first month, really trying to get this first exhibit together. And again, thank you for the library staff, everyone who has been very helpful to make this happen. So I'm going to talk about how I got started, and I'm sorry this was not supposed to be twitching like this. I was, when I got here, the mannequin was wearing, but my sculpture student convinced me that I should wear this today. So here I am, and I'm sorry for this twitching. If this become a blackout space, this will be just glowing in the dark, and I have some gadget in my back. And just to say a few things, I tried to travel with this for an opening, let's say in Egypt, and also with a study abroad to St. Petersburg in Russia. But I was informed that maybe they might think that I'm going to be a suicide bomber because I have gadgets here with electronics. So I very carefully packed and went through the security and so forth. So there are some stories with this dress. So in my practice, I use traditional sculpture materials that you see here, like wax, bronze, copper, and many other things. You see this, which I created for this cabinet of curiosity, which is a body part. And then other materials, such as sound and light, that would allow me to create a sensorial space and in time, in an architectural context. So my first use of light utilized optical fiber project in a 2005 commission for the Seattle City Hall, designed by Walling Swensky Jackson, who did this beautiful Apple stores in New York. And what happened to this one? Okay, this is an optical fiber strand that cascades down the City Hall, and you can see the Puget Sound right there from the window. It's linked to the NOAA's website, which is a National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration's NOAA's website. And in the real time, you can hear the sound of the water, and this changes based on the weather forecast. Body waves, it's a recorded sound of a heartbeat, which is my heartbeat, that activates the chair when nobody's sitting. So this is at Cathedral Church of St. John. Oh.
The live stream can't hear you unless you're...
Oh, thank you. So this is at Cathedral Church of St. John the Divine, and the recorded heartbeat activated the pulsation coursing through the woven optical fiber chair. And when people sit and rock on the chair, there is an accelerometer, a sensor, and then it takes your body movement and it changes color based on your body. So, and then in 2013, this is an installation in Japan. It also utilized optical fiber and in a form of a boat. And it's interacted with an ebb and flow of the local waves of the Seto Inland Sea and pulsated really slowly into the gradation of deep blue as if the boat itself was breathing. It takes you on a journey from this world to maybe the afterlife. At John Jay College of Criminal Justice, which is this piece, it's a permanent work I installed in 2013. In this case, hues of blue and white light cascades down like a waterfall. And it takes the sound of the East River, which is just across the street from the John Jay College. But at some point, there is a sound that is not heard, but you can see in a form of a light. Since this is a college of criminal justice, I listened to all the audible tape, and I came across, of course, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I have a dream speech. I went to the archive library here, and then I excerpted some of the phrases. And he says, I am not satisfied, and I will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. That very short 13 seconds. You don't hear his voice, but it turns into a form of light, and it pulsates in this foyer of the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. If you get a chance to go there, please experience the light that comes through like a cascading waterfall. Okay. So in 2015, I created an optical fiber attire, and this is for a doctorate of music student, Jocelyn Ho, who is here, who became a wonderful UCLA professor after this concert. It was her exit concert. So I decided to create a special attire for her concert titled Synesthesia Playground. And Dr. Dan Weymouth, who is here today with us, he composed a music called Lux Benit, which we'll hear a lot of a short excerpt of this later on. So in this case, when she's playing the piano, her breath and her heartbeat changes the color of her performance. It was performed at, so how do I click this? Here we go. So this is about 30 seconds or less. There's no sound. This is the first sort of a dress rehearsal where she's just wearing this for the first time, a very first prototype that I made. So STEAM is not really a new concept. I think, in the 15th century, as back as 15th century, Leonardo da Vinci warned us of the importance of using science and art to make new discoveries. In my opinion, combining art with science and engineering is one of the most important, but overlooked, and perhaps underfunded areas of research today. STEAM acknowledges that multidisciplinary discourses and actions together can have a tremendous impact on society. So more recently, I have begun to investigate new types of smart textile, which could be used as a means of diagnostic in healthcare emergencies. I imagined a textile that could see, hear, sense, communicate, store and convey energy, and could regulate temperature and monitor health. I imagined a blanket that could change color depending on the state of patient's pulse or changing in temperature. Such blanket could provide real-time physiological monitoring data for babies in incubators, the elderly in hospice, families at refugee camps, soldiers at war zone, or victim at triage sites during a natural catastrophe or a political conflict. So this idea led me to expand the smart textile from an artistic and aesthetic approach to humanistic applications. My research further developed during the COVID-19 outbreak, especially due to the influx of patients being admitted to hospitals, ERs, and ICs, causing dangerous overcrowding in hospitals and breakdown of hospital triage system. So over the past 2 years, I have worked with 3 Stony Brook students who will be presenting today to create a biomedical sensor bracelet that would monitor patients' vitals in a real time to assist medical professionals. After biomedical engineer Professor Dr. Chan joined the team, the project truly expanded even further with students in the field of art, film, biochemistry, biology, biomedical engineering, computer science, electrical, and computer engineering. And together, we have created Cicada, which stands for Continuous Individual Crisis Aid Alert. The acronym is Cicada. So the logo of the Cicada reflects the 4 triage colors of green, those with minor injuries not requiring urgent care, yellow, those injured with less severe injuries, red, those who need immediate attention and transportation, and lastly, black, those beyond help. So these colors will reflect in the LED color of the Cicada wristband, which Ryan will explain later in the detail.